Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air is sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round the fading light, seeking truth to make things right. And every mountain, every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like some promises were left to break, for every dreamer wide awake. But in the cold of fire burns a lesson that the heart burns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every voice stands now for justice in the From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? The people hear the call, every voice stands now for justice in the flow. For the silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled. Seeking justice, let truth flow. We the people, let it snow, let justice grow.
Well, good afternoon, every single beautiful soul here. This is Phoenix, and you are at Phoenix Talks. So, I don't know how you got here. I don't know who shared this with you, but I do believe I am honestly thankful that you are here, every single one of you, because here we rise above assumptions, no rumors. We stick with facts and obviously evidence. We stay curious. We think with open minds. Every question matters here. Every individual matters. Every angle is welcome and nothing is off limits. The only thing we ask that if you are here to troll, be quiet. You're a good trolling individual if you are silent. Now, if not, and you speak up and you are rude or angry, this isn't the stream for you, maybe. But if you are, and this is you that I just described, welcome home. Do me a favor, my mods are already on it. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it so much. And my title today, in regards to talking about the Idaho 4, I am not going to stop talking about the Idaho 4. I am not going to stop asking questions. I am not going to stop critically thinking. I am not going to stop applying logic. I am not going to stop looking at videos and pictures and comments and all these other things that are put online about the Idaho 4. Nor am I going to stop reading the headlines or the papers or the online newspapers, media, etc., and not ask questions. They buried the evidence in body cams. They buried the evidence in court documents, and every single officer that walked through that crime scene knows the truth. many of them are left. We're going to talk today about what the flock, because I really don't curse, but every single one of you should be saying, what the flock? This is Maddie's bedroom. Now, if you are here and you enjoy this stream, again, hit the thumbs up button. Drop a 1 for me because I want to see who my lovers are and who my. Go ahead and hit the 1 for me. Let's see. I'm going to welcome you in. Les, welcome in. Dina, good to see you. Dana, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. Les, no talkie before coffee. I skipped half of my coffee this morning. Rebecca, welcome in. Donna Rosa, Amanda B, Brenda, Inked Mama. Good to see every single one of you. Patty, Myra, good to see you. Blinky, hello there. And, there's some new friends that have joined us, some new people saying, what's this stream all about? Well, typically we talk about the Idaho 4 case. There are other cases that I do talk about, other cases that I've covered in the past. Other cases I have been involved in. If you went to my TikTok and looked at my past videos, you will see I'm not a newbie. This isn't just a hobby. This is actually real life. Hello, Lulu Bell. Good to see you. Caleb, my other trusty mod. I've got 3 mods here. Show them love and respect. Don't be hateful. Don't be dogging other people. We're not here for that today. Okay? Maybe another day. But just not today. Hey, Buffalo Chick. Woohoo, just got home from work. Glad we could accommodate. Monkey, welcome in. Do me a favor. Living Dead Girl, Christy, how are ya? If you are a regular here, well, let me ask this. My cat put me if you are new to this stream, do me a favor and drop a 1. Drop a 1 if you are new to the stream, have never seen a live stream of mine before. I'm curious. Pokey Dots, welcome in. Lisa, welcome in. Good to see you. Jackie, whoop, whoop. And look at that. Patty, you are freaking amazing. So glad to be back. I missed you guys. Justice for Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Brian. They haven't received that, and they do. They deserve that. If this was you or your daughter and you reached out to me and said, hey, justice wasn't served, I would take a look at your case. I have a lot of people. And if I believe that you have been wrongly done after a deep dive, I will definitely put you on my stream. There are a lot of you that have been on my past TikTok streams. We've talked in details in lives with a lot of people who've been wronged. A lot of people who have actually had justice in our court system, like a 2A issue where an individual was sadly shot, died on the porch, and he was defending his rights and he won in a jury of his peers. He was found not guilty. Stuff like this really happens, guys. It really does happen. So welcome back. Thank you, Patty, so much for the donation. We greatly appreciate you. I usually start my stream off by a really quick speed round. And I have to say, what the flock may tick you guys off. I try to keep my stream PG somewhat. But what the flock is happening in Idaho? I'm not the only creator. I'm not the only individual. I am not the only person. There are tons of people out there that are not creators that are asking the same question. Okay? They are asking the same question. What the flock is going on? Okay. And yes, Kathy, it is spelled wrong because I was going to put DAHO4 and I just left it DAHO4. Okay. Because I should have spelled it DUHO4 because this is freaking wild. Don't forget, I'm friends with Bill Thompson. Don't make me call him. Hit the like button or the naughty list for you, and 100% guarantee to get coal in your stocking or reindeer poop cookies. Okay? Just a little reminder. Baby kittens, Mia, welcome. See you there. Okay, so, this has been a wild ride through contradictions, timeline glitches, blurred footage, DNA mysteries, and unanswered questions that still make people scream, "What the flock?" Because this flock now sees the BS. I think you would agree. Oh my God, I had to switch over to this handle because the mods spelled the names mod. I didn't realize I'm on timeout. Oh, Lene, I'm so sorry. It's a Freudian slip for DAHO. Yeah, it's a Freudian slip. Okay, DAHO. Wicca Wicca Blank Shady, I see you there. Welcome in. Okay, so what the flock is happening in Moscow? Well, tonight we're taking off the gloves, folks. We're diving into this Idaho 4 case head first in a way that no one else has or will. If you've ever screamed, "What the flock?" watching this case unfold for 3 years, who would have known we'd still be here talking about this freaking case? Who would have known? If you watch this case unfold for 3 years, this stream is for you. If this is you, again, welcome home. Welcome home. So, who's ready to dig in? Drop a Phoenix fireball, a fire, or an eagle sign. Let's get in. And I want you to tell me what your biggest WT flock in the case so far. What is your biggest WT flock moment in this case so far? I love that. WT flock. What the flock? Kathy, no one's beefing with the Birdman. I don't know who's making that up, but I know my mods will be right up on it to figure out what the fuck is going on with your question. No doubt in my mind. Nobody is having a beef with Birdie. Birdie tells me a lot of secrets that I have never shared. And I will tell you, Birdie and I don't have a beef. We get each other. We know one another. So thank you for reposting the stream. Thank you for the loves button. Thank you for the like. So what was your biggest WTF moment in this case? 8-hour delay to call 911. Do we really know it was an 8-hour delay? Do we even really know that? That Dylan puts herself in Kaylee's room at 2 a.m. when in fact, other people are out there, witnesses saying she was walking on Taylor. Woo! That's a tough one. I can't pick out all in this case other than 4 lives lost and no justice. I agree, Patty. I agree. Another deep WTF moment in the case is LE involvement. Yeah, I would have to say, yep. And you know what? I would have to agree. I've got nothing but love and respect for Birdie too, and I'm so glad you guys see that. You know what I have to say about that is it's M. I can't find the word. I'm trying to just think about, when you think LE involvement, that doesn't mean that people were moved or this house was staged by the LE. I mean, LE involvement is they come in and they see some of the footage that we talked about yesterday that people are up in arms about. I'm sorry. Sorry if I've ruffled some feathers. I told you that this stream may not be for you. And it comes right down to some people are just not willing to accept what they see. That's what it comes right down to. They cannot acknowledge and fathom that something of this unthinkable could happen and accept the fact that it could be even covered up. And I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you do not agree with my assessment or with what I see that many see, and trying to gaslight me and say I don't see that. How could you not see what I shared with you? I've even slowed it down a little further just so you can see a little more detail for all those who are complaining and whining. And I am going to share with you. In fact, let me put it back up on the screen. I have slowed this thing so far down. You are probably going to see more than I even showed you yesterday. I've got people messaging me, giving me screenshots. I can't believe I see somebody in a black dress. I see people with blonde hair. Um, is there really a body underneath that ping pong table? That ping pong table, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. I am going to prove it to you guys. I am going to get the video that I made a long time ago. Okay? A long, long time ago. I'm going to show you this video about the ping pong table that I uncovered. I'm sure that a lot of people have seen it too, right? Don't get me wrong. Some people see things that other people can't see, and it's called abstract. If you can't see what I see, I still respect you. It's like that old saying, I'll agree to disagree. I respect that. And that's something that you probably won't find in another uh, creator out there. I totally respect that. I am going to find the video where I talk about the ping pong table to put this one to rest, because this video was made a very long time ago. I talked about it in the window. I talked about the officers taking pictures, talking about all kinds of stuff, taking pictures, taking all kinds of stuff. So let me go back down and let me just grab that video with the window and the ping pong table, because this was so controversial back then. Let me see. Gosh, it was a long time ago. And is this the girl in the window? No, that is not. That is not. Let me find it. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I guess I have to, since some people just don't get it. And I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong. Everyone has their own individual thought process. And that's the beauty of people being so different from each other. Where in the world is that video? Let's see. Holy moly. There's the one where Brian Koberger's picture and not even him in court. I forgot all about that one. Oh my gosh. Where are you? Wow. Let's see. God, these were the good old days. Let's see. It's the girl in the window in the ping pong table. Gosh. My goodness. That is not it. That's the one where people were outside. 138 views. Which one was this? This was. Wow. Okay, so you know what? I probably won't find the window. Let me see if I can find it another way. I've got them bookmarked. Let's see if I can find it this way. Yep. Oh, God, I didn't even know that would work. Okay, here it is. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right, let's see. Girl in the window. All right, let's get to it. You guys ready for this one? This is wild. Here we go. Is this it? Let me ask you a question. Can you all see this playing, or is there a serious delay? Anyone? Drop a one if you can see it playing. Delay. Okay. Let me see if I can refresh this. Hold on. Let me take this off. And yeah, I'm going to cover yesterday's too with the video. So just sit tight. There is a delay. Shoot. I wouldn't consider myself an OG, but back in the day, let me show you. So there is this thing going around that looked like perhaps there was a ladder on the other side of the house. And on top of the awning right there was a lot of red stuff. I don't know if it was dirt, rust, whatever, but people said that it was the red stuff, that comes out of our bodies. But that couldn't be possible because if the house slanted that way and the red stuff ran to the front, there's no possible way it could have ran to the back like we see and they've shared. So I was looking around at all this footage of the house, looking for specific entry points. One, possibly the ladder, this room where Xana's room was, perhaps. But I noticed that the crime scene tape stopped at the stump. They didn't extend it, but it extended way out to where the parking lot was in the back and on the side. And I'll show you in a future picture what I'm talking about. But this picture popped up in the window, and I was like, what the freakity freak is that? I had to take a second look. And then you can see on this side, there was a table with beer pong set up. Was there a party in the house that night that maybe someone was having? Don't know. However, you can see, and these pictures were shortly after the unaliving.
In the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public here.
So it's just fair game that the public is going to hear what a lot of us find. And Lene, you hit the hammer on the head right there. We are going to still stay live. You can report my live as many times as you want. There may be a delay, but hang in here. Give me a thumbs up because we are going to get through this, okay? No one is going to stop us from sharing the truth. And look at that ping pong table right here, folks. That ping pong table was in front of the window in the house. And let me give you a picture of the bigger picture here. I'll go back a little bit and you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
So there is this thing going around that looked like perhaps.
Now, in this picture right here, you can see the ping pong table as clear as day. In the body cam footage, when they walk up, this ping pong table has, in fact, it is a known fact. Okay? I mean, honestly, everyone here is smart enough to know we see the ping pong table has been moved. Correct? Would everybody agree with that? Yeah, I would probably say yes. All the videos we watched on the video cameras that have been uploaded are what? Oh, the ping pong table has factually been moved. Well, why do you think that they moved this ping pong table, folks? It's not because I showed you. It's because they showed us. Not anything that I can put up here will change your mind. Not anything I say can change your mind to what you see. If you see what I see, then we all can agree that factually was moved. This table that you are looking at right now was truly factually moved. And I don't think we can disagree on that because we can go right back over there and we can go right looking at that video again. I don't need a million mods. I'm just throwing people out. If you say one bad thing, you're going to get booted today because I know that the bots are out. I know that people are pissed off. People are going to be hateful and evil and repulsive because you have been found out. Who's been found out? You've been found out. Because I talked about it. B has talked about it. Booking with B is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you a video and we're going to get right into it. That table was moved. I've got some amazing recordings on super slow. Let me grab one for you and I'm going to show you just so you get an idea. My program that I have, I can slow it down to where you may see things you don't want to see. And maybe I don't want to show them. But I will say this, every single thing I'm going to show you is factually slowed down, really super slow, and you can see it for yourself. There is no talking in this. This is how slow I got this to be. You can see how redacted the images are over here under this ping pong table. You can see on the other side of this ping pong table, there are other things that are there that they have blurred out. Okay? For those who say and have gaslit me, oh, you can't, there's nothing there. I don't see what you see. It's okay. It's okay. If this is such a crappy live, leave. You don't have to be here. And like I've said before, if you came in here to troll, we know you're part of the cover up. You're part of the paid opposition. You're probably some bot that's been paid to go out there and disgrace and discredit people who are telling the truth. And it's okay. All right? So Phoenix never seeing any video, just a picture of the house, hun. Yeah, I left the picture up there. I just threw the video up. You are seeing everything that I'm seeing in super slow motion. And I can even go back and put it in more super slow motion. But you are seeing everything that we talked about yesterday in super slow motion. Yeah, we're not supposed to see the facts because it busts the narrative. 1-1 in the house. You are right. You are right. We're not supposed to see what's been taken out in this video. Let me go back. Hold on. You weren't supposed to see that, but we saw it anyways. Where did he go? Hold on. I'm going to come back to the front room. He's taking pictures of the... Okay, here we come. I'm going to try to put this on large screen for you too. Look at this. I'm just going to keep on banning you guys. They must have got together and said, we're going to go get Phoenix today. You guys, I'll just keep kicking you out. My mods are amazing. I'm telling you. Okay, now, this is when he tells the other cop, stop. We've got some DOAs here. Okay, and he's like, what? And can't this officer see all the blood he's talking about? Oh, I see it now. It's like this officer just walked into the scene of the crime. The other officer is upstairs. He knows what's going on. The nest is whack. Ugh, so are you. Out of here. I gotta have a song. Another one bites the dust or something. I gotta have a song. You're out of here. Like a baseball theme. Okay, so this cop has now been aware, because let me just tell you, there have been times that I have walked outside with no shoes on, and all of a sudden my husband says, oh, there's a scorpion right there. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I have no shoes on. And I look down and I'm like, oh, I see it now. I didn't see it before. This officer walking in gives me the same vibe like when I walked outside with no shoes on. And he now sees what the other officer is telling him. And he looks down and he's like, oh, shit. And then he reaches in and puts his gloves on right away. Watch. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I got to walk into a scene. And he tells him, you're going to see something that you probably shouldn't see. His face says it all in this scene. Okay? And this, yeah, no real human would be that disrespectful. I agree, Betty. They are trolls. They pay agencies to go out and troll individuals and hide the truth. Yeah, busted. Okay. There are some things that are in this screen. I have played it very super slow for you so that you can see what I see in even super slow motion. Now, this officer does put gloves on. He does. He puts gloves on. And that is almost the end of this recording. I played it super slow yet again. It's almost at the end. He puts on gloves. But when he walks up the stairs, he says something to the effect, obviously they blurred it out, redacted it, goes back out. The bag was dropped right there. Was somebody there they were trying to assess? The floor is blurred out to where it doesn't even look like the floor is supposed to be the floor. It looks like the floor is missing. All this stuff is blurred out on the floor when you play it in super slow motion, even to where this item underneath the ping pong table that is not a cup is redacted. all redacted. These cops, see, he's got his gloves on now. All these cops that went with this narrative are complicit to the cover up, in my humble opinion. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, oh yeah, do you think that all these cops should be held accountable? The ones that went along with the narrative? This is why the judge ordered a no dissemination, no sharing of information, no nothing, because of the fact it would be to protect law enforcement, to protect them. This is an even better shot of all the blurring. A much better shot. Okay? Now, you cannot tell me this has all been redacted, because we know it has. It took them a long time to release these because there were redactions. I'm all for protecting the victims. They blurred this out because they don't want anyone to really see what is factually there. Look at this. Can you believe that? This is all redacted. Under this table, someone has moved that table clearly, like I said, compared to the first pictures that we got on the day when you can actually see the freaking ping pong table in that picture here. Okay? You can see the ping pong table very clearly. In this video, there even looks like there's a girl standing here in the window. That's freaky. But the ping pong table was moved. I don't know when it was moved. Maybe it was moved after they moved the bodies. But that ping pong table was in such a weird setup that honestly, I questioned it from the beginning. And this video was made, gosh, 5 months ago. Okay, 5 months ago this video was made. Now I want to jump over to Booking with B. She's fantastic. I'm going to have her on my live one night. But I want you to listen to what...
Let's dive into it. Okay, so we have Kayla Wynn's interview that she did with the police, and I just wanted to do a breakdown of that interview. She says a few interesting things in here, and then the cops also continue saying some interesting things. So Kayla lives at the Whites. She is good friends with Xana. She met Xana freshman year. She's also good friends with Kaylee. She met Kaylee freshman year as well, but she's closer with Kaylee. She is also friends with the King girls, who also live on King Street. I don't have like a solidified who exactly are the King girls, but they are separate from 1122 King Road girls. Now, Kayla does say that Kaylee partakes in white stuff. She also says that Xana's pretty into it. She can't attest to anybody else. So considering that this is a person that is good friends with Xana and even better friends with Kaylee, I would think that she would probably know what she's talking about. She says that they would do white stuff when they were going out, but she does not know of anybody selling it. And again, the cop is asking these questions that I just find to be odd, because why would you ask these unless you had a reason to ask them? The cop asked her, did they keep any quantity of white stuff, Adderall, or Xanax in this house? And this is my first hearing of Xanax. It's always been Adderall and white stuff. But now the cop is asking about them keeping any quantity of any of these things in the house. And I just think this is a strange question. If there are rugs involved, then you would be asking these questions. If there are not rugs involved, you would not be asking these questions. But we do know for a fact that one of the sororities, now which sorority, I need to figure out which sorority.
Okay, so I sent her this. She said she needed to figure out what sorority. Here's your answer. University of Idaho Victim Sororities on probation for health and safety violations. Alpha Phi, which was Kaylee's sorority, and Pi Beta Pi, which was Maddie, Xana, Bethany, Dylan, and several others, were in that sorority. At the University of Idaho are on probation for violations or concerns regarding risk management, alcohol, drugs, or hazing. Okay. I banned the fake Phoenix. I banned that account, guys. Thank you for letting me know. I saw it. I banned it. They think I'm probably too busy. I'm not. So I will tell you, I don't miss a freaking thing. All right, 200 of you in here now. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up button. Now, look at the title of this video. Idaho police nearly ready to release the crime scene. And it says Idaho murder mystery. Let's listen to see what they have to share. Ah, come on. I'll tell you, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to keep sharing.
I haven't earned the ability to grieve the way that I want to grieve. I want to be able to have justice first.
Oh, man, that was the heartbroken father of a University of Idaho student, one of 4 murdered in their sleep earlier this month. Police now getting ready to release the crime scene once investigators finish examining the site and collecting any evidence. Joining us now, former FBI investigator Bill Daley. Just absolutely heartbreaking, Bill, to hear from that father there who, not only lost his child, but still has no answers and no suspect in custody. How are we here this far out from when this happened?
Well, Sandra, first of all, this is a very complex scene. In other words, what I'm saying here is that it's not something where it's a single family home where you have a couple of, you have a pet and a couple of people living there. This is one that has had multiple people visiting and multiple tenants. Who knows the last time it was cleaned? You have hairs, fibers, fingerprints, maybe other DNA that's around. And for police and forensic experts to sort through this, it takes a while. So this investigative onion, if you will, is taking a while to reveal itself. At the same time, there's no individual suspect that's kind of jumped out either by past behaviors, comments, threats, or what have you, that they kind of be able to kind of focus in on. It appears as though it's someone further back around the orbit of one or several of these people who may be responsible for
So
this.
I was hoping to learn something here when they say they're close to releasing the crime scene. Does that mean that they're close to turning over that house to its owner, assuming the kids were renting from a landlord there, that's it? People come in and clean and this is done? The search inside that house is done?
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, it could be a reason why, if there's a prosecution moving forward, they need to go back and either take photos or do something else in the home.
Because the cars are still parked outside of the students who were killed.
So what it means, Sandra, is at this point, what they've done is they've contained the crime scene, they preserved it as best they can,
Yeah.
and now they're ready to say, we've collected all the evidence we feel as though we can collect here, and now turn it over to the owners to clean up and put it back into shape.
Correct me if I'm wrong, with the slow release of information from the authorities, which could be a strategy, right, on their part, to protect what they know, to not let on to the suspect that they know the information they have. But there's a lot of rumors out there and a lot of room for speculation. And now these rumors have been debunked by the police there in Idaho, including that red Mustang that was near the scene. They say that was not involved. There was a February overdose death in town. They're saying that was not related. This case, they are saying, is not linked to any other murders. That is interesting to me that they can rule that out without having the suspect in custody, but you tell us in a second. The victims were not tied or gagged, and the dog skin nearby, which we all knew that story initially, is not connected to this. So tell me your thoughts based on those debunked rumors.
Well, first of all, a lot of those rumors are ones that just been kind of created and floating around. They've never come from some authoritative body. The other crimes that were committed, the ones in Washington and Oregon, they've ruled those out because they've probably looked at the forensic evidence. They've combed through and they've kind of said, no, this does not match the profile. And at the same time, talking about profile, the FBI does have their profilers and their behavioral analysis people involved in this case. So they too have been able to kind of weigh in on what things get ruled in and ruled out. But it is something at this point that is not something that's, we can tell right now, is solved in a 60-minute melodrama television production. This will take a while. The crime scene was probably very complicated. As I mentioned before about other factors of people being in the home previously, as well as mixture of DNA and separating those.
I've got to leave it there. Are you confident that they'll find the suspect?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
All right, Bill, good to have you on set here today. Thank you very much. All right.
All right. So we just saw a bunch of BS. Obviously, that was very clear because yeah, everything they just said was a big, huge lie. Okay? So I want to say this with a grain of salt. There is so many strange things happening here. There's a video I'm going to roll. It's the same video you've seen before. But I want you to keep in mind some of this footage has been altered. We've talked about blurring, we've talked about taking pictures, certain places, what was being noted. There are officers walking through this entire crime scene, including Maddie's bedroom. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That is the what the flock moment, because this is huge. Okay. When you look at this picture right here, Maddie's bedroom, I have another picture where I can blow it up. We're going to talk about this blood on the floor. This picture right here. And this is what they don't want you to know. Okay. Here is the most wild thing I have seen in a long time in any case. Now, I use 3 documents to cross-reference as everyone has the same public known documents. Where do you get them? You can get it at justice4, FOURALL.com. I don't care if they're snorting Adderall. I don't care if they're doing drugs. I don't care what they were doing at this house. 4 individuals didn't need to lose their lives, or 5 individuals. No one deserved that, in my humble opinion. And I can say in my humble opinion as many times as I want here on my stream. If you don't like it, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying if you don't like it, there are other streams that you can go and maybe you will have meshing vibes with them. I don't know. Okay, a lot of people were asking me, and I'm going to tell you right now, this photo that I put on my YouTube, and I clearly said, okay, I clearly stated, and I can show you right on my channel. Let me get there. I clearly stated this. Let me change it. Where am I at? Here I am. I said, don't count me out. Boy, this thing's slow today. Hold on. I said, don't count me out. I'm just getting started. Okay? And where did this picture come from? This picture, in fact, was on the refrigerator on the 3rd floor. 3rd floor refrigerator. I got a lot to say about this picture, folks. Here is the Justice for All. You can get all the documents. All the documents. Okay. Now, this picture was on the refrigerator on the 3rd floor. Keep that in mind. There's a lot to see. They blurred it out in one video, but on another officer's body cam, they didn't blur it out. And I kept saying, why didn't they blur it out on the other body cam? Why did they blur it out on the other body cam? Well, maybe somebody missed it and didn't redact this photo. This photo is a picture of some sorority girls. And they have blurred the faces, but they didn't blur the whole entire picture. You kind of get an outline of what's going on, and you can go through the video cam yourself, the body cam. Let them walk up to the 3rd floor, and you can put it in slow motion, and you can grab a picture of it, and we're going to talk about this. I never learned the origin of this picture, and that is why I'm talking about it. It's on the 3rd floor. There's 2 refrigerators side by side. This is on the dark gray refrigerator. It is a picture of sorority girls, and there's something behind it. But keep this in mind as I talk about Maddie's floor. Okay. Now, when you look at this floor and you zoom in, there's speckles all on the floor. But if you zoom in a little more, there are speckles all over this top blanket. Okay. And this picture is when you walk into Maddie's room. There is speckles of blood on the floor. There are her boots and her jeans that she was wearing. And you can also see they have redacted all the blood splatter on the blanket. They have just left a little on the floor that you can see. But if you zoom in close, you can see all the rest of the splatters that they've tried to tone down and match almost the color of the blanket. Okay? Now, when you go over and cross-reference the 3 documents that I've discussed before, State's Exhibit, okay, and item 42, if you go to MPD, item 42 is a blood swab. It doesn't say where, it just says blood swab. Okay, that's the Moscow Police Department. Item 42 is a blood swab. Go back to the state's file, and it says item 42, State's Exhibit 4-28. It says item 42, 1122 King Road, blood swab, 3rd floor, edge of door. Okay? 3rd floor, edge of door. On the top edge of door. When you go to the forensic files and you start looking at the answer to item number 3 and 4, you're going to find the answer of what that debris and what the blood was. And let me pull it up so you can see it. This is the actual forensic document that tells you what item 3 and 4 was. Submitted swab from floor 2 bedroom. Well, we don't care about floor 2 right now. We're talking about Maddie's room. So that would be item 4, would be the debris from the floor 3 bedroom. Okay, they're blood spots. They left enough of these spots to see there's blood here. They redacted all the blood on the blanket, so you can't see that. And item floor 4 clearly says in the documents, item 4 says 3rd floor bedroom door. Okay, but item 3 says 2nd floor lab item 3. So we don't care about 3, we want to go to 4. When you look at 4 and the results of 4, this gets wild. Because remember, in this document right here, you are looking at this. It's for some reason it's delayed. It's a little slow. This is report number 7 on the 18th of November, way before, 6 weeks before, even weeks before they mentioned Brian Koberger in here. Okay. So on the 18th of November, they had a suspect and they had 3 other subjects way before Brian Koberger. I hope that this is going to update pretty soon because it's not showing you what I'm looking at. There. The 18th, right here, way before they even had Brian Koberger's name, because his name first pops up on December 5th. This is November 18th, 2022. Suspect, 3 subjects, 3 individuals. Item 4, submitted swab in debris from bedroom F3 bedroom floor. I would agree that that is F3 bedroom floor. That is Maddie's bedroom. Okay. Now, go back to the document and it will tell you the results. And it says, we don't care about 3. Remember, we know that item 3 was Xana. That was on the 2nd floor. What we're looking for is item 4. And I type, tell me what item 4 is. Item 4 tells me that the DNA extraction employing real-time chain reaction PCR were performed on the swab item 4. No DNA detected on item 4. No further testing was done at this time. What? What the flock is going on? Y'all, some days I just can't. They're telling me in these blood droplets, there's no DNA detected. I'm going to hold that thought. What the flock is going on? Did anybody catch this? Did anybody see this? When I read this, what do you mean they can't find any DNA from blood contact? There has to be some Y'all, I'm reading it right along with you. No DNA was detected on item 4. No further processing was conducted on this item, but yet they sent testing out to other labs, $500 a pop on all kinds of other testing, but failed to send this one key piece of evidence for testing. Do you know exactly, anonymous reckoning? Thank you for saying that. This blows my mind. No testing, no further testing was concluded. Contact DNA, blood DNA, is swimming with thousands of blood cells. And this is a very good point. They couldn't get DNA from blood, but used touch DNA. Now, here's my point to all this. This blood on the floor, okay, they got the blood from the rails. They got the blood from all these other, places, and they say it is unknown male DNA, unknown A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, whoever, but they can't get the blood off this floor and give DNA. They can't. And that was acceptable to who? Whose blood was on the floor, and maybe they just didn't want to tell us. Maybe they didn't want it in evidence. Whose blood could that have been? Because if it was Maddie's blood, they would have told us, hey, by the way, that's Maddie's blood. Right? I mean, I would assume it. I would assume. And then they say disposition of all this evidence that they swabbed for item number 4. They say basically that they were returned, that the swabs were all consumed in testing. How could all this blood be consumed for DNA testing? How? There was enough blood for maybe, I don't know, I'm no expert. I would give, and I would say probably 10 more swabs at least. 10 more swabs. But no, they were consumed. Do you know what consumed means? When you get a blood swab or any DNA evidence, they will say, I'm going to test all of it or some of it. And what they did is they basically tested all of it, and they say that it was consumed, so there's no more. Never again to be had. It's gone. CYA, it's all gone, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much, Les. I sure appreciate you. Thank you for that beautiful donation. And you are welcome. It is checkmate. This whole week has been checkmate. And when you look at the empty packages for items 4, it clearly says 4 is a bust. There is nothing on 4. Nothing we can do about 4. 4 is all consumed, all gone. We'll never know whose blood was on Maddie's floor. Sorry. Big, fat, 0. Big, fat bust. Look at that. But here's the crazy part. They've got gene mappers. They have something associated with this. But all the blood was there, and it was nothing. They didn't do anything, and no further testing was required. But they've got some data in this that they don't want us to see. So is this part of the redacted information that they couldn't release that came back on the 22nd of November? This report was done on the 22nd of November. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 4 days later, they had a genome sequence. They had the DNA sequence of something in this report that they don't want us to see. But yet 4 was consumed totally, and there's nobody there. But this report is like 210 pages long, folks. I can't make this shit up. I can't make it up. It's like finding a needle in a haystack and then saying there's no haystack. There's no needle. There's no freaking farm to find the haystack and the needle in the haystack. 210 pages long of nothing. 210. Exactly. Why are we mapping it with? This is kind of like you go to Vegas and back in the old days you saw Siegfried and Roy, right? Or David Copperfield or whatever his name is, and they do a magic trick and they make, something disappear. Well, it doesn't disappear. They just cover it with a black cloth behind a black screen in dark lights, and you don't see the item anymore. It didn't really disappear. It's there, but it's just covered. And that's exactly what I thought of when I saw this. It's there. They just covered it. Now you guys are getting to see the madness in this case, right? This is freaking checkmate. It is checkmate. It is time for me and you, we the people, to stand up and say we've had enough. It is time to find the real perpetrator's blood, if this was them that they have redacted and covered up. Because I believe, in my humble opinion, obviously, they were looking for someone who was injured by the reports in the ISP documents. Remember, they were looking at all the clinics in the local area, and they wanted to see who may have checked in at any hospitals to see if they were injured, right? This was from supplement 180 in the ISP documents. All the documents are here for you to read also, okay? And they started on December the 6th, weeks after they got, a day after they got Koberger's name. It's flocking magic. I love it. I love it. It is not Mowich. Mowich. Oh my gosh. That is the most hilarious thing that I've ever heard in this case, that it is Mowich. It's a dead man. It's a dead Native American man, when the DNA they have of these unknown perpetrators are male, Hispanic, American, and what was the last one? African American. They were not Native. And the prince, Mowich had been arrested before, served time. They had his prints. If it was Mowich, they would have went after him immediately. Immediately, just like they would have went after Jose Cruz. Jose Cruz was a suspect made up, and they never went after him because didn't match. They knew in a heartbeat. They ran it through CODIS. These are people that have never been in CODIS, never been in trouble with the law, are brand new to the criminal system. Their prints are now in every single database that you can imagine. Let these individuals commit another crime and they will be nabbed and snatched in a heartbeat. Let them screw up just once. Just once is all it's going to take. All these unknown DNA, unknown prints are all in these databases, folks, all of them. So they go and they ask the clinics, okay, we need to know every single one of you guys out here in this area. Now, I have said this from the beginning of these documents being released, okay? Why in the Hades did they not go down to Ada County or Canyon County or other counties and inquire if anyone in those counties had any type of injuries? That would have been logical because these kids were from other areas. Okay? They cover hospitals and medical clinics that serviced Moscow. Okay, they did that. They contacted Lewiston, Idaho, Clark, Washington area, St. Joseph, Tri-State, Clearwater Medical, Valley Medical. They contacted the following providers in Coeur d'Alene, Kootenai County, Prairie Clinic, Northwest Family Medicine. Kootenai Health responded with a list of patients treated for possible knife wounds. I have placed this list on a disc that might contain evidence. Then they went and they contacted the providers in Spokane, Washington, Deaconess Hospital, Holy Family, Providence Urgent Care. They reported no treatment consistent with knife wounds. Interesting. Contacted the following providers in Pullman, Washington, Ready Care, Palouse Medical, Pullman Regional Hospital, and Chas Health. All reported no treatment consistent with knife wounds. Yeah, but that's a lie. In my humble opinion, that is not truthful. It is not truthful. They ran all these prints through CODIS. Yeah, someone's not being honest. And then I found it odd, and even the officer here, I found it odd that Kootenai Health provided a list of 77 patients treated for a sharp object laceration or puncture wounds, while all other providers advised no treating wounds consistent with what we were looking for. And then they say, nothing further. Nope, we're not going to look any further than this. What? We're not going to look any further. We're satisfied with this investigation and nothing further. But they didn't think to go to Ada County, Canyon County. I mean, hello? What are we talking about? Jose Cruz, mentioned in this case, is from the Pullman 4. If you haven't seen that, youtube.com, type in Pullman 4. My video will come up and you will see me talking about the Pullman 4 case. That's what I've dubbed it as. And basically in Pullman, 10/20/21, there was a Hispanic man that was alleged to have broken in the house outside of Pullman. And basically he was not found. I mean, they basically just did their investigation and it was nothing. But the Pullman chief, remember this guy Jenkins, mentions Jose Cruz, and all of a sudden now we know that he's involved in this, but not involved in this. So go figure. It was another person that they were trying to say was involved in this, which blows my mind too, because there's a whole case file on this story. So if you go under past live streams, there is a live stream called Pullman 4. It's pretty good because we go over all the information that Pullman put out there, all the information about the past case and how it all came to be, and just a weird case, almost like this one, just so freaking weird. Okay. And let me see if I can actually find it. I think I labeled it. Hold on. Here it is. Hidden clues, Pullman 4. Yeah, questioning if that was the beginning of a rough, you know, draft, or kind of like a run or a project they were going to do and see if it worked there. And then they went to Idaho and ran the Idaho 4. I don't know. I'm just saying the Pullman 4 was kind of like a preview to this freaking ordeal, in my humble opinion. So when you start to look at these things in all the emails, all the information, why are they redacting and hiding so much? Because it doesn't fit the narrative, or because they don't want the truth out? Which one is it? Narrative or truth? Narrative or truth? And what the flock are you all talking about in the chat? This case was utterly sloppy. Unknown now. Flock around and find out later. Acted like there was no blood victims. In college, I could have never imagined doing something like this, no matter how pure or evil I had. You know, one thing that I did research, y'all, I mean, it just takes a little Google search here and there. Now, we all know, and let me go to Instagram, because this is where I found a lot of good stuff. Now, you know, you can go to Alpha Phi. I kind of was a little, I don't want to say standoffish, but a little perplexed about this sorority when I started digging into them. And I remember, and I'm sure you guys do, I remember some individuals that were, I mean, look at that. I mean, they have streamlined a lot of these sororities and frats, okay? Now, I want to preface this, and I want to say this is in no way trying to disparage any institution, organization, or anything of that nature. But the social media sites for these individual colleges, individual frats, and sororities have changed a lot in the last few years that I have seen. Okay. And what I'm shocked about is their social media has been revamped. Okay. Well, remember, they all lived together because they were no longer, 4 of them were no longer in the frat or the sororities, and 2 of them still were. I mean, that would probably cause me some issues in regards to, looking at the videos that Maddie left that involved Dylan, looking at the videos that Kaylee left involving other sororities, and, the videos that we've seen from a lot of the players in this case. But when you look at other sororities, okay, other sororities' social media, you begin to see patterns. And you see patterns, and I'm wondering, why are these girls being portrayed like this lifestyle? This is a totally different sorority in regards to Alpha Phi, Pi, whatever. Okay? You can tell I never was in a sorority. I was in the geek club, though. I was in the computer club. But you start looking at this and you're thinking, all this now has been taken over perhaps by some social media company. Because remember, Maddie and Kaylee, I think more Maddie was kind of doing the marketing for her sorority. All right. And this is exactly what it is. It's content creation for recruitment to come and join our clique, our club, our sorority, our lifestyle, our rules, our regulations. And this is something that you are in for life. It's not, oh, come and be in for a few semesters or a few years and then get out. Because I don't think, in my humble opinion, most of these girls ever get out. Okay. Whatever they're in, they don't get out for some reason. So when you look at this and you look at these pictures, and then you ask me again, what's this picture that I shared? You'll get the bigger picture. Because I think that this picture kind of explains to me, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when I look in this picture, I look at this as a symbol that Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana were in it for life. And when they got out, it may have put a target on their backs. I know that's a lot for some of you to swallow. A lot. A lot. But once you're in, you may not be completely out. You're in it for life. So when you see pictures like this that they've redacted or hidden, you have to ask yourself, why have they hidden this picture on the third floor fridge or even blurred it out enough to wonder why? Was this part of their fate in being in a sorority? And that goes to say also a frat. Ethan was no longer living in the house, in the Sigma Chi house. And I would say, this is not far-fetched, guys. It's not far-fetched at all. A lot of them go on to become influence, in careers, La Cosa Nostra, They are, I'm telling you, especially at this university. Secret societies are forever. That's not a hidden fact. That's a truth out there on the streets of anywhere society. Something was going on from the jump. Different society, in the same house. Well, they had to redact a lot to protect the university. Is the university going to protect them? That is the big question. So when you see things like this, you have to ask yourself, what the flock is going on in Moscow? Is the next thing the sororities, the frats, are they protecting the police department? Or did those who were not protected leave those positions in LE? The weirdest thing is the number of Sigma Chi photos that include Green. He was there for the scholarship awards, but it seemed like more frequently. Well, you have to put up a front. You have to show your support. I've always said this. Green is a finance guy. He is a business guy. He is a money guy. He is not a leader of education, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Why I don't know. Was it the cost? Clearly, Xana and Maddie was cost. They did say something to that effect. And you know what's so strange? Is the evidence that points to, in the Moscow Police Department, there were letters in a certain individual's room, letters from the sororities that someone had in their closet. In the closet. Why would they have someone else's sorority letters in their closet, in their room? Was somebody have some information that could damage an individual that lived there? Why were these girls, why did they leave? Why did they leave their sororities? Does anybody know? Was it just cost? Or was it because they were tired of the mean girls? Wasn't that something that we heard? Was that a rumor? A speculation? Does anybody know? Did they really leave because of mean girls? I know it's been rumored. Let me do a real quick search. Hold on. This has been brought up a couple of times. Okay, so it says they were inactive members of Pi Beta Phi, having dropped out the last semester. This was a common practice among sorority members, and it does not, this is what AI is giving me. Were Maddie and Kaylee no longer sorority active members? Let's see, Fox News. Let's see what we can find. Here we go. This is interesting. Let's see if you can see this. Idaho co-ed murders. Sorority sister recalls victims hours before tragedy. A normal night in Moscow. Wow. A normal night. One of the 4 University Idaho students killed by an unknown suspect earlier this month was spotted having a normal night with her friends just hours before tragedy struck, a classmate and sorority sister recalled. Madison Mogan spent much of the night.
Here with us now to discuss former homicide detective Brian Foley. Brian, what do you make of the handling of this investigation 3 weeks in now?
So look, kids don't have enough to worry about going to school and their safety. Now they have to worry about this. Police are really going to have to manage their communications now at this point, and they do this through 3 certain steps. 1 is to express concern. They've done that. 2 is to ask for help. They've done that too. The 3rd thing is build confidence, and I think they've done a good job in that to this point. 1, they ask for help from bigger agencies. The Moscow Police Department right away decides this is probably too big for us, and we need all the help that we can get. If you look at that press conference last Wednesday, you saw that state trooper basically give the crime scene 101 class during his press conference. So in the absence of case details, specific things to the investigation that they can't talk about because those things are only known, those facts are only known to the victim, the suspects, and possibly the police. In the absence of that, he starts talking about their crime scene techniques. Now, what that's going to do is, 1, give the reporters something to nibble on. But 2, it will help the general public have confidence that law enforcement is doing everything they can to catch that killer. And I heard your reporter say that there's a lot of police on campus. That can go both ways. That can cause fear, but it can also help people to feel safe at the same time. So it's up to them to communicate that, hey, we don't have cops out here right now because we have a threat where we know there's something going on, but basically this is to make you feel safe and help the educational process get back on its feet.
I can't even imagine what it's like for those college students returning to campus, although we have seen that some have chosen not to. The school has said they're going to try to accommodate some of those students with virtual learning. I know there's fundraisers going on to provide some of those students with alarms to carry around on campus in case they see something, they can say something. But this is not the concerns you hope for any college student to return to campus with. The police are going to have a huge task to respond to the growing number of 911 calls they are reported that they're getting now.
So we're in a different era now with, I hate to say my gut feeling, serial killer. And I hate saying that, and I don't know the circumstances. Just my gut feeling. Every knife homicide, it seems like, is very passionate, very emotional, very loud, very violent, with a struggle. This is different. It's an anomaly. It's almost like it was emotionless, where you have 4 people killed, a suspect who's able to maneuver around, we assume, a dark apartment, and go to 4 different places, or 3 or 4 different places, and commit these murders. So let's look at what police have not said. After every homicide, the police department, almost, not every homicide, but most homicides around the country, after, the police will come out and say something along the lines of, hey, the general public doesn't have to be scared here. This is an isolated incident. This was a targeted attack. They haven't said that, and that's chilling. They've said, in fact, quite the opposite. Be vigilant, lock your doors, look out for one another. Please send us help.
Well, not initially, but then they came back and said that, right?
You have this type of killer out there, and police have to communicate that through social media and regular media. And as you can see, things grow on their own. So it's up to them to control the message and get out there. And again, to this point, I think they've done a pretty good job about that. The cops know who they're talking to. When they say something publicly, they're talking to the victims' families, they're talking to the general public, and they're talking to the killer. And I can tell you right now, they're not going to name a suspect. They're not in the business of naming a suspect. They're not going to. Nor would they say that it's a serial killer. I don't think either.
Everybody's
These are things
frustrated.
that would not assist in their investigation. And I promise you, they're only going to talk about things that will assist their investigation.
Okay.
They have psychological profiles saying this type of suspect, you should say these types of things publicly about this type of case. So it's very refined, very strategic, very planned out. And to this job, Moscow State Feds, in my opinion, I've been doing this over a decade, I've done an excellent job in communicating.
Got it. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate
She
it.
kept trying to cut him off. You know what's amazing is this is the first guy that I saw that said something about a possible serial killer. Isn't that crazy? A possible serial killer. What did you all think about that? Yeah, I've heard about this one before. He's the one that said it. They're not going to give a suspect. Possible serial killer. I mean, he said a couple of things that I have pointed out to be, I mean, is this a possible serial killer in college? Is that even possible? I think the 2x2 sect is worth a look. Absolutely. I've heard this before too. She didn't. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I was just going to ask about that. Yeah. I mean, that could be, I mean, for those of you who don't know about the Travis Jutton case, you know, with all these, I would say that was delayed justice, right? With all these things happening in the area, I would probably have to say there obviously is no coincidence. It was in August 13, 2021. And, you know, the intruder in the dark scenario, the Travis Jutton case, him and his wife were attacked in their bed at 3 a.m. by an unknown intruder. But why would, I mean, let me ask you this, Anonymous. I know the proximity and the, you know, it's close. Why would, I mean, she was stabbed like something like 19, 20 times, I think. Let me get a document and then I'll show you guys. I don't want to just try to remember off the top of my head. Let me grab something real quick. I mean, is it possible? There was just this a couple months ago. Let me throw it up on the screen. It'll be easier just to watch. Here's a news. Let me put this up on the screen. Here's some background.
It's now been 4 years since a man was stabbed to death in rural Marion County. His parents are still holding out hope for answers. A suspect or suspects attacked Travis Jutton and his wife at their home on Northeast Hazel Green Road and Howell Prairie Road in August of 2021. Travis's wife, Hazel, survived being stabbed. Today, we heard from Travis's mother. She says she hasn't heard from the sheriff's office since reaching out in June. And she adds she hasn't received an official update since last April.
It's extremely frustrating. Was murdered. And I know that house very well. I know that area very well. I can tell you, no stranger walked into that house and killed my son.
No stranger. So did they know these individuals?
That just didn't happen.
Travis was only 26 years old. A $50,000 reward remains for the person who can give information that leads to an arrest and conviction. It's now been 4 years.
So who did he know? I mean, those are some of the questions that I go to, right? It's not just, what kind of circle were they traveling in? Was there anything stolen from the house? I don't think any robbery was happening. I know that they were claiming they were being held hostage, and then who was there? Ray. The letter said Ray stabbed 2 family members, claiming they were held hostage, and then shot and killed himself. A sample of Ray's blood matched DNA collected at the scene of the crime. It also matched Jamelyn Jutton's description of the suspect. Police were able to match the witness. They did identify the killer, obviously. He was arrested in February after pointing a gun at 2 people in a motel. And a downroll spiral. So let me see. Prior to learning Ray's, they announced a $50,000 reward. Has there been any update? Was there any? Wait, look at what I found. This is crazy, guys. Why in the world would they mention Koberger? It says he wasn't even around in 21. Law enforcement can work together and solve both cases. That would be awesome. Oh, they were trying to connect the 2 cases together, but it doesn't look like. The following day, Moscow said they ruled out any connection. So there was no connection. Yeah, live dig. There was no connection, and he was the suspect in regards to the Idaho 4. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't see any update either in regards to the Travis Jutton case. Has anyone seen anything? I see the lawsuit that was filed in 24. That is the latest. Oh, wow. They filed for $3.4 million, guys. What the frick? That is wild. Oh, and you know what? I got the strangest comment today on one of my videos. You guys, crazy. I got one of the strangest comments. I'll show you in a minute. Look at this article. Family of 26-year-old stabbing victim sues Marion County for $3.4 million. This was December 13th, 2024, talking about the Travis Jutton, 26, and his wife. Okay, so if his wife survived, hey, Ken Jr., yeah, right. When his wife survived, was she able to identify the killer? Was she able to give anything to them? Trying to see what the update is on her. This was so old too. 2021 October. Same time the Pullman 4 was happening. That is so odd. What was the date of this? October. What was the date of October? Just says October 2021. The suit requests $400K for financial losses and $3 million for Judson suffering and loss of companionship to his family. He gave his life to save her. That's wild. Yeah, it's about a year prior to. It takes time to process crime scene when there are 4 victims. It could take years to hit the courtroom. Absolutely. Yeah, but what was reported to the sororities? What was reported? Maybe there is something bigger to this that we haven't seen yet, because there was a document found on the second floor closet that was from a sorority. Okay, so let me find that. Let me find the sorority that it was listed. Hold on. I'm wondering who had the letter. Who had, wow. Who and what was the letter about? Because we know that, let me see if I can find this. We know factually that Kaylee was an Alpha Phi. Did not know the specific address of the whites. Okay. Examine in, okay. It appeared E and Kaylee were in the same sorority. E.T. roommates. It appeared E.T. was roommates with Kaylee Goncalves and had several communications with her from 8:20 to 2:21. It appeared E and Kaylee were in the same sorority. This was, okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. This document, let me make it a little smaller. No. Okay. This document says there was a letter in the closet, but there was also an iPhone. And this says forensic evidence examination of iPhone in closet. Okay. Okay. So Dylan had the letter, right? It was in the second floor bedroom. I didn't want to say the name. But what was the letter regarding? We don't know. Andrew Fox wrote this on 8/16/23. So that's a long time to. On August 11, 2023, I was able to complete a forensic examination of the evidence that was identified as item 246, a black phone that was in the drawer closet of West bedroom F3. Go back to my diagram. Well, it's not mine, essentially, but somebody sent this to me. Go back to this diagram. West bedroom F3. That would be KG's room. Okay. So this was in Kaylee's room. And let's see what it says. Using Gray K and Magnet Axiom version 7.2, I was able to acquire the data from the iPhone XR. The phone was yada, 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 listed as ET. Other emails associated with the iPhone included blank Gmail and highly redacted. I was able to view the contents of the iPhone, and the phone was last used on August 26, 2021. So that was the year before. There was no user activity on the device until it was reactivated by me on August 17, 2023. Okay. Wow. It appeared E.T. was friends and roommates with Kaylee and had several communications with her. It appeared E and Kaylee were in the same sorority. So why would she have someone else's phone? Did she buy it from her? Maybe. I don't know. I can only see. Hold on. E.T. Who is E.T.? E.T. Oh, it's on private. Shoot. She's the only one in the sorority with her under ET. But her account is under private now. Shoot. Maybe she sold her the phone. Maybe she let her borrow it. I don't know. Huh. Well, let me see if she's got another social media. Oh. She has to be from around that area. Let me see. Moscow. University of Idaho. Ah, interesting. Ah, found her. Now she lives in Kentucky. And she's even made some posts about Idaho4. Okay, I found her on a different social media. Wow, there's only one freaking post. Dang. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll go down this rabbit hole. Maybe had proof of hazing, or maybe some complaint, or somebody was going to get not whacked, but somebody's going to get cut or dismembered. What's the word I'm looking for, you guys? Those are not the words I'm looking for. That is crazy. I meant like expelled, or kind of getting in trouble for being a part of something, or I don't have a cat, no. Or probably being investigated, or some type of you know what I'm saying, kind of like some looking into, or they had some complaints from someone part of that sorority. Did you guys get it? The word I'm looking for, it's just slipped my mind. Like flocked up, like somebody maybe snitched or said something and was getting someone in trouble or something to that nature, or they were on their way out of the sorority, or being looked at or looked down upon. I don't know. That's, in this type of environment, you never really know. So why there was a letter in somebody's bedroom, um, yeah, I don't know. That's just crazy. That's wild. But she looks like she's on a different social media, ET, and pretty girl. I mean, she's with Xana, so she had to have been friends with Xana. She definitely had to have been friends with Xana. And that's weird. I find that weird that she's friends with Xana, but yet kind of is in the same sorority as Kaylee, which is really odd. So why would Kaylee have her phone? Did they trade, sell, borrow, barter? An iPhone XR in 2021. iPhone XR in 2021. What was the value? The value of an XR i21 back then, 2021 series, was only about $100. So, I mean, one of these girls was a sweet mate to Hannah, supposedly. She was supposedly bullied, and someone had posted that she didn't overdose when they found her. Yeah, Hudson Lindo kicked out Phoenix. What? So, I mean, this phone was probably worth in 2021, if they were roommates, the X phone XR, that's the model that was of that year, it was worth about $100. So if she had someone else's phone, it would probably be because, I don't know, maybe she bought it or needed a spare phone. But I mean, come on, how many phones did Kaylee have? I mean, geez, how many phones does somebody need? I can understand having at least two phones, right? Like a work phone and a fun phone, right? I get that. I mean, how many phones do you guys have? 3 or 4? Maybe 5 or 6? Yeah, maybe kicked out or looked into, like looking into a claim or looking into someone's complaint, perhaps. Not blackmail. That's pretty harsh. But I mean, if someone snitches on someone and then they're going to get looked into, maybe it could have been, and this is pure speculation, maybe Kaylee knew something about Dylan, or Maddie knew something about Dylan, because Maddie and Dylan and Bethany were all in the same sorority at the same time that one year. Kaylee was not a part of it. Maybe somebody complained, right? I mean, you don't know. You don't know. Okay, so Caleb, I've got a picture for you. I'm going to put up on the screen since you asked for it. Since you asked for it, here you go. I'm going to give it to you. I'm just in a playful mood. Hold on. Let me grab this. Oh, and before I go, let me grab this picture. Shout out to Amanda B, always on top of it with the receipts. Always making sure I got what I need right at just in the nick of time, man. Okay, so the Vandal Alert copies. Here's a copy of it. Let me pull this up real quick. So, in regards to ET, in this document, it looks like Kaylee was friends with this individual, and Kaylee had this individual's phone per the police department, which that phone, I'm just going to summarize real quick while this is loading. That phone was about probably, I would say $100. So I don't know why Kaylee would have that phone of someone else, but who knows? Maybe she owed him money or was trading, who knows? But that phone was found in Kaylee's bedroom in a spare drawer. Maybe she owed her money and gave it to it. Okay, so here is the Vandal Alert picture, Caleb, that you asked for. And I've got 2. So this one verifies the time. Let me just pop that up there. It says, U of I class is canceled November 4th to honor our students. And then this one says, warning alert. And this is November 13th at 4:07. PD is investigating a homicide of King Road. It went out at 4:07 p.m. Near campus. Suspect is not known at this time. Stay away from the area and shelter in place. So that went out at 4:07. I don't understand why people are saying it went out at 1 o'clock. Maybe a backup. Maybe she wiped that phone. Possible. Yeah, could be. All right. So, wow. The holidays are coming. I hope that you all are treating each other well. I know this case has been wild. We've got new month, new music. Today is the 3rd of December. Do me a favor. If you enjoy the streams and the data and the information that I bring you, the live digs we do, anything of that nature, give me a thumbs up. That's all I ask. Here is my picture, which many of you don't know yet, but January 1st, 2020 is my anniversary. Here's me and my husband. We were married in Sun Valley, Idaho at Bow Bridge. It was a beautiful winter wonderland wedding. We had the greatest time, the best pastor I could ever want. So I will be taking some time off after the holidays, but I wanted to let you know first so that you have the deets on everything. So my wonderful, he is so amazing. I mean, how many other guys do you know that were standing in the snow and a heart snowflake drops right on his heart? Y'all, I'm just telling you, it's wild. I mean, he is the greatest guy that I know. And I'm so thankful that he asked me if I would make his bed the rest of my life. So after the holidays, we are going to take some time off and just have a really good time. So I want you to know that I'm going to bring you all the details, all the drops. That I'm not going anywhere. The only thing that I have to say is when everyone says, "Oh, you never lived in Idaho," dare me to show you. Dare me. Y'all drop a lot of love for my beautiful mods here. And love is in the air. Oh, you guys are so sweet. And this goes with my new song for December. I'll be back tomorrow. It was freezing cold, but it was so beautiful. It started snowing the minute at 11:11 that we started to take our vows. It was amazing. Drop some love. Be well. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air is sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round with fading light, seeking truth to make things right. Every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. Some promises were left to break, for every dreamer wide awake. But in the cold of fire burns a lesson that the heart burns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every ring. Stands now in justice, for justice in the echo. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every ring. Stands now in justice, for justice in the overflow. For the silenced and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled.